I really believe that the Bible has the answer to the meaning of life. And it's really found actually in just one basic word, and that is love. This first teaching I have titled The Success of Love. And it's important that we realize that love is an end in itself. Loving God and loving others, that period is success. Our culture probably feels a little bit differently when it comes to success. Success in our culture normally means affluence. It means achieving a lot of things. It means having a lot of money, nice car, nice house, having that perfect family, quote unquote. But that's not really how God, I believe, defines success. And really, if we're Christians and we're seeking to please God, we need to let go of that view that man has of success and really be interested and concentrated on how God feels about a successful life, what that looks like to him. And so here is the definition that I believe God would think of as success for the human life. And that is receiving the love of God, loving God in return, and then having that overflow into loving ourselves and other people. Really, that's just the basics of the Christian life. Loving God, loving ourselves, loving others, and having that all sort of mixed together, and that's what produces a successful life. So I'm not just making up this definition of success. It's found in the Bible. It's found in all the Gospels, actually, and it's the first and the greatest commandment that Jesus taught. In Mark 12, verse 30 through 31, Jesus says, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all your strength. The second is this, love your neighbor as yourself. There is no greater commandment than these." So I'm repeating myself here, but you'll see it just all boils down to love. Loving God first, having that overflow to our love for others. It's all in the same continuum of just maturing in our Christian faith is growing in love. That's really what maturing in our faith is. It's just growing in love closer to God and closer to each other. Another verse that backs my claim to this single word, love, being really the meaning of life is 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 13. And it says, "And now these three remain, faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love." Now, as we continue this teaching series, we're going to talk about the definitions of love and different spheres and ways that we're able to love. But it's important, I think, in this first teaching to really take a look at love and get past what a worldly notion of love is. A lot of times, the world views love as just kind of this sappy, sort of heartfelt, emotional feeling towards someone or something else. And that can be dimensions of, the overflow of true love. But really true love is far more than just emotional feelings. It's actually deep devotion. And so if we're talking about loving God or loving others, it's having a deep devotion to God and to one another. It's having a deep respect for God and being willing to obey him in all circumstances. Really, that's the place that we really show God the way that we love him is in the way that we obey him. There's many verses that we'll talk about that link obedience to God and love for God in the same breath. And I think we can't talk about love without also talking about sacrifice. And Jesus himself was the one who paid the ultimate sacrifice for us. That expression of love was the deepest, most intense form of love that has ever been displayed on this earth. So to wrap us up in this first teaching, I just want to warn against once more just this worldly view of love that we sort of think of, the soap opera type of drama type of love. That's not really the true definition of what love is. We want to please God. We don't want to please man. And so we want to have God's definition of love. We want to do this thing called love on God's terms. And a verse that really highlights this whole issue of pleasing God or pleasing man, you can find in Galatians chapter 1, verse 10. And it says, "Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? Or am I trying to please people? If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ." So I'm asking you right now, who are you looking to please? When you think about success, are you thinking about it from God's point of view or from man's point of view? because really the world's view of success is a great stumbling block to the believer, because it's associated so much with temporal earthly things, and it's not concentrated and founded upon the firm foundation of Jesus and eternal rewards and living forever with him in eternity. That's really where we want to have success, is not just in the day-to-day profits of life, but really what are we building success for when it comes to eternity, when it comes to forever and ever and ever that we get to spend with God.